Welcome. I'm waiting for. There we go. Lazy Droid Studios arrived. Sophie's arrived. Fabulous.
Hi.
Hey. Sophie, am I able to get you up here? Great. Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
that's good. Everything's a little crazy. Are you
I
rocking out over
bet.
there in London?
Yeah, we're okay. I'm just I don't know, following your journey behind following everything. It's I bet it's been a crazy week for you.
It has been a crazy week, and Uh, I, I can almost like not put two words together right now, and I have to go into this interview. So, I thank you for. I mean, you are the best like host. So it's
Ooh,
great to see
okay,
you.
let's not set expectations too high. It's the end of a long day. Let's put them way down there. But yeah,
No,
no, I got you. You go do your interview prep. You go smash the interview. I mean, you deserve it. Also, take a little
yes,
second to just.
thank you.
I hope you're still living on the high. I mean,
Yeah. Well, before I just want to say hi to the Lazy Droid Studio. I'm so excited and I'm so bummed, but we are recording, and Sophie's going to take care of you. I could not rearrange this interview, and things have been crazy since the drop. I thought that they were crazy before the minting. Um, and it's good. It's there, no complaints here. It was just like it's it's good. It's good stuff. But sometimes I think that when opportunity comes, you're just flying by the seat of your pants. That's what I'm doing in here. So, y'all wish me the best. I hope I don't crash land anywhere. But anyway, let me go put this out because I've got about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to hand it over to you, Sophie. But let me go like do some retweets. You guys do some retweets. See if we can get some of the filmmakers in here, and I'm psyched. So I'll be right back. Hey, make sure you guys, does the studio have their pinned tweet or something you want to start pinning at the top of the space here? Do you know how to do that?
Yeah, I'll do that. And can you guys bring up Birdie? That's Paul.
Oh, fabulous! Hey, Paul.
Jordan, also, it's all about what is it? It's fire, aim, ready. So that's like your launch strategy. Like what's happening right now is exactly that. Like it goes everything the train goes and then you just figure it out on the way. So major kudos to you on your mint and everything that's happening. I completely understand when opportunity comes, you take it and it's all good, all love, and like we have 100% your support.
Oh, thank you. I love that. By the way, I'm trying to get Birdie up. I've sent two requests. You might have to leave the space and come back, just to, because it looks like maybe you're getting rugged for some reason. But yes, thank you for that. Yeah, it was very precise, like the rollout for red flags and what I was doing, and but it was 24/7 for a long, long, long time. And then once we started rolling out the marketing, it was. I mean, I can't even say that it was exciting because it was so stressful. And even when actually it got like, bids immediately and when it got a collector immediately, I think only today am I beginning to sort of process what happened and the excitement of that, and so I'm trying to catch up with everybody. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, and I cannot wait to see where we as a filmmaking community go. Hi, Jason. Glad you're here. I have to step away for this interview. Sophie's gonna take care of things, and I'll pop in if this interview ends early. I'll pop in to join this super cool thing, and otherwise I'm going to listen to the recording later. All right, Sophie, do you want to just set the room for people to know about the Discord and who we
yeah.
are and what we've been doing and all of that? I
All right, cool. Well, I'm going to do my finest Jordan impression today. So this is the NFT Filmmaker Squad, and we meet every Wednesday from 1 Eastern time or from 6 o'clock GMT if there are anyone else in London today. So yeah, we have been spotlighting people, the innovators, the pioneering filmmakers of the NFT world since like last May, which actually isn't that long, but it feels like this is a super exciting community that has real kind of roots.
Longer, longer,
And
longer,
longer.
longer. That's
Wow.
right.
Okay. Well,
Y'all,
there you
keep
go.
going.
There you go. No good host for me. I've not even got our dates right. Okay, longer than since last May. Anyway, the point is right now, right? Because there is a kind of momentum that feels like it's happening. And Jordan is perhaps the best example of that, because incredible drop last week with an incredible sale for ETH, which is amazing and super exciting. And yeah, so we're really building as a community. We have our Discord, which is growing day by day with super exciting conversations and collaborations happening there. And you can find the link to join that in my link tree on Twitter or Jordan's as well. So yeah, today I'm so excited. I've just been like combing through the website like a weird kind of stalker person on Laser Droid Studio, because it looks like an incredible project. So I'm really excited to dive in, get an outline, and also get some of the detail on the project and the concept and the rollout. And this is an open space. Bear with me while I navigate hosting today as well. But if you want to come up, ask questions, get involved, please do request to speak. This is a super chill, generous, supportive space. But for the moment, Laser Joy Studios, why don't you just give us a little intro to yourselves, the project, just let us know what we're focusing on today.
Hi, my name is Veronica. Paul is my husband, and he's on the Birdie account. And together we started Lazy Droid Studio. Paul has been an animator in the industry for the past 15 years. And Paul, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself before I get into my spiel? Or I usually do these by myself, so I'm so used to talking for Paul.
Yeah. I've last 15 years I've been in the industry, working on major titles, mostly Marvel stuff. But yeah, I mean, I went to film school, set out to be a filmmaker. I think ultimately that's what I wanted to do. Fell into the visual effects and animation industry, and made a great career out of it. But in the last 5-6 years, I've been wanting to sort of dive back into what I originally wanted, which was storytelling. So I've taken the initiative to take everything I've learned in the last 15 years in the animation, visual effects, and 3D world and apply it to my skill set as a storyteller. And that's where we're at now. I've developed 3 IPs. Birdie at the moment is the one that is being we have a deal with a major studio, and we're heading into development. We're actually already in development, but officially heading into development very soon. And yeah, that's where we're at the moment. Very excited about the project. It's very kind of an eclectic project. A lot of cool things, a lot of cool influences that went into it. And yeah, I'm very excited working with my writing partner, Brian Madison, and his wonderful girlfriend Elena, and of course Veronica. And it's been a very fun and learning experienced, momentive, time in our lives. So yeah.
Yeah, and the reason I came on was because, as an artist and as the NFT movement really took like place in 2021, like the Beeple sale really just like established like what's actually happening in the space. And Paul's an artist and he's never going to stop creating art. And so I kind of saw this as an opportunity because we have this very centralized partnership with this major streaming service that's going to be taking care of the animation side. I thought it would be a really great idea to build a Web3 community concurrently with that. So when the show does go on air, they have a community to plug into and really reinforce all of the great things that are happening here in this space that are really creating like an equal playing field for not only consumers and fans, but also like independent filmmakers, and really just like leveraging both worlds. So that's kind of like why we've decided to introduce the art to the community.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's just super interesting, like crossover, because we talk a lot about independent filmmakers and like the relationship with networks and that kind of challenge. And you're doing something super interesting where you're both working with a network, but sort of, yeah, building this non-network community in Web3. So it's interesting to see that kind of simultaneous approach. can you just like intro to everyone like a little bit more about like what the project is about? Like give us an outline, just in case anyone hasn't like seen like the website or and like the vibe of it, because it's which everyone should go and check out, by the way, because it looks super cool.
Yeah, Birdie is a fully animated series, and it dives into the life of Bernadette Jenkins, aka Birdie, who sets out as a vigilante across Los Angeles County. And over the course of the series, we learn more about her. We learn this sort of she has these powers that we show in the series, and we sort of kind of come to learn that she's part of this cosmic she's in the middle of this cosmic war, between good and evil, and how she's sort of like a key element to that. And it dives into her struggle between dealing with a tragic um, incident that had happened when she was young and how she's dealing with that. One of our biggest themes of the show is mental health. So it really dives into her anger and how she sort of, deals with that, and the dark path that she's heading down, and how she's going to kind of come back around and go from anti-hero to full on hero. Yeah, it's a very exciting. It's going to be dark. It really kind of seeps into the H.P. Lovecraft lore. So yeah, it's a really fun, eclectic project that has been on my mind for many years, and it's finally coming to fruition, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, that was a question I had for you actually, because it looks so it's so developed, and it feels like very like it has this whole like history around it. So I was wondering if this was something that you had developed, I guess, over a long period of time prior to the NFT space, or whether this was something that sort of came out at the beginning of your involvement with the NFT space.
Yeah, it's been in development for. I've been developing it, with my, personally, I've been developing it for the last 3 years, and then my writing partner and I have been developing it together for the last 2 years. So yeah, there has been a lot of development happening. The train has been moving forward way before the NFT space. So yeah, that's ultimately, I think, why people are so engaged and kind of find it interesting, is because there is a lot already established. We have an entire mythology wrapped around it. Yeah, I mean, it's ready to go in terms of a series, in terms of development, and also on the NFT side. So there's a very strong story that kind of wraps around it. And again, like, we're trying to bring in, sort of bridge the gap between the NFT community and the film industry, and specifically the major networks, streaming networks. And yeah, it's a very interesting time, and we're trying to bridge that gap and get on board with this new community that exists now. It's very new to me as well, and Veronica is really the one that kind of opened these doors and educated herself, and then got me involved, of course, because I've been so busy as the artist, as the creator, working with my writing partner, trying to get the major networks involved, and of course executing the concept trailer and the artwork that goes along with it. So yeah, I've been very busy. So Veronica's really sort of bridged that gap between getting us from, as an animated series, to also bridging the gap to the NFT community, and it's a very exciting community. It's all very new to me, but I find it very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And well done, Veronica. It sounds like we all need a Veronica in our lives, helping us discover new opportunities.
Yeah, she has been amazing. Just a wonderful partner, very supportive, and extremely organized. So yeah, she's really championed this whole community.
I mean, it also, thank you for that. It also just goes to show how welcoming and the community is. Like Jordy here in the audience, like I met him on LinkedIn, and he was the one that really helped to like onboard me in a real way, that where I could like wrap my head around what was actually happening here. Because when you enter the space, it's so noisy, and you don't know what the rug pull, what a rug pull is, right? Like you have to learn this whole like terminology of like what everything is. And so he was really the one that helped me like wrap my head around how it all works, and then gave me resources to really be able to sink my teeth into, because and that's what everybody needs, right? Like, and this is our responsibility as people in this space, when there's going to be an influx of all these new people that are going to be coming in, and really being the voice of the truth of what's happening here, so people don't get turned off by things that happen negatively in the space.
100%. And like that's what we're doing here as well. That's part of what this space is every week, right? And part of spotlighting projects like yours is that these are our models, right? These are our blueprints that other people are going to look at, are going to follow or take elements of. And we're at this super exciting time where like everyone's doing slightly different things, which is actually amazing to see, and see kind of variety being embraced and encouraged and welcomed in this space. But yeah, onboarding is the people who onboard us. I was brought in really more into the community fully by Jordan, and it's an incredible role. It's a hard role, right? I mean, certainly we're pretty behind in the UK here still. There are not many people who are very aware of NFTs and film. You look in the audience, there are not many Brits. I guess it's also a Wednesday evening. Maybe people have other plans. Anyway, so that's kind of the story, and I guess the concept, which sounds just really kind of beautiful and well developed. And I think, as you said, Paul, like that's certainly part of the draw. Um, this is super thorough, like artistic work, right? This isn't a rush job. One of the things about film in this space is that film is hard. Making a film takes time, takes resources, takes energy in a way that some other art forms are, I guess, a little not necessarily easier, but simpler, or more sort of singular in terms of the team. So yeah, this is, and that completely shows in the work that you've already put out. I guess it would just be great to hear about your rollout as well, what your kind of plan is in terms of minting, in terms of when you're kind of launching. I'm imagining, Veronica, maybe that's more your area.
That's all me, and the team, of course. So we have it's like a layered strategy. So we are our Genesis drop is happening in mid-March, and we are doing a three-tier drop where we'll be auctioning off a one of one of the concept trailer that we used to sell the show, and then we'll be offering a limited edition GIF and a limited edition JPEG of Birdie for our Genesis, and then a few weeks later we'll be dropping the collectibles project, and that's called Call of Cthulhu, because, as Paul was mentioning, this is based on Lovecraft mythos. So we'll be doing 9,187 Cthulhu's for the community. And if you're in Los Angeles, we're going to be at a party on March 27th that we're sponsoring to also garner community and just share of what we're doing. But we're really excited about it because uh, just in like I'll just kind of talk about Paul a little bit. Like, and to your point, Sophie, about how hard it is to like actually make a film, and just in art and or in projects in general. Like, it takes, there's so many of us suffer from shiny object syndrome, and it's so easy for us to like want to do everything and then start a project and then start here. It's fun to start things, right? You're just like, oh, this idea and this idea and this idea. So a lot of times you don't actually get to like hone in on your expertise or a craft because you tried doing too many things at once. And what Paul has done is, like, even though he does these concept trailers all by himself, like he takes each aspect of that um, of that art and really hones in his skills to like make it perfect. But he also just works on like one project at a time, and it just goes to show, because now when he's have taking meetings in Hollywood, he'll be met with teams of creatives that want to meet the guy that was able to pull off a concept trailer at this caliber, because it takes literally like a team of at least 20 people to pull that off. And so it just, there's this concept trailer that we're going to be auctioning off in March is a very special collector's item, because from the trajectory of what is Paul's career, there's a lot of special things in store on the filmmaking side. So anyone who wants to be part of that should be there.
Yeah, well, all of us then, right? And anyone who's in LA should go to the party. That's the sad reality of being the other side of the pond over here. But that sounds amazing. I think it is quite a skill and level of commitment, and actually confidence as well in your own artistic voice and vision to really see your project through to the end, right? To really develop every corner of it, every detail, and not get sidetracked. And I say that as someone who absolutely gets sidetracked. So I'm trying to follow your lead and learn my lessons, Paul, because it's clearly working very well for you. Because it's just there are some projects that you look at and they have that kind of ring of like authenticity or depth or thoroughness and work that's gone into them, and that's something that I think is very attractive to people in this community, because this is a community of filmmakers who know what that means, right? Who know what it means to put together a concept trailer like that. I'm just going to reset this space super quick for anyone who's joined us since the beginning. So this is the NFT Filmmaker Squad, and we meet every Wednesday and we spotlight different filmmaking projects like Lazy Droid Studios today. We have an amazing Discord, which is growing. There is a link to join it in my link tree on my Twitter, and I would really encourage you to, because I wake up in the morning and there's been all these amazing conversations overnight, and it's very exciting to see people finding each other and finding those collaborations. In general, if you want to come up and ask questions, I would massively encourage you to. This is a supportive, generous space, and this is an exciting project. So anyone who has questions about, I guess, any aspect of the project and the rollout, as we said, like there are different models to follow at the moment in the NFT space, and this is just one of them that we can kind of dive into in detail today. So do come on up to the stage. Miguel, I don't know if you welcome up to the stage. Hello. I don't know if you have any questions for Veronica or Paul.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for having me, and thanks for hosting us as always. And great to see so many familiar faces excited about film NFTs, and great to hear your story, Lazy Droid Studio, and all that you're working on. I didn't really have a question. I think Jordan invited me here to I don't know, to help maybe move along the conversation if needed, but it's all going great. So I'm kind of just enjoying the conversation and listening, and yeah, it's all great.
Okay, cool. Well, I have a bunch of questions, so I will be the curious, nosy one. I guess one question actually in general is, as we are in a room with filmmakers and I guess maybe some animators as well coming into the NFT space, is there any advice from your experience, any tips for people who are maybe just starting to kind of find their way in this space?
Yeah, I mean, as Veronica was saying earlier, I going into a project where I have to do everything, which is a lot, in the animation world, and just in general for any filmmaker, independent filmmaker, there's a lot of work involved, and there are moments of feeling overwhelmed and how on earth am I ever going to finish this when I'm literally the only person working on it. Um, yeah, there's moments of feeling overwhelmed, but I had a tendency to sort of break it up, and compartmentalize and break it up into little projects instead of thinking of it as a big project, thinking of it as within this big project I have a bunch of little projects, and I would sort of just kind of go through and focus on that one little project until it was done, or at least until I was happy with it at that moment, and then move to the next assigned project and focus on that one, and then so on and so forth. And I just did that over the course of these three IPs that I had done, and it just seemed to sort of work, because people do look at it and go, well, how many people did made this? And I'm like, well, nobody, just me. And it's, especially if you're in the animation industry, it's hard to believe, because most things that you see were made by a big team, or even a small team. But yeah, the fact that one person did it is, I mean, it's pretty unheard of on some level. There are people that have done what I've done. I'm not the only one, but it is very difficult to pull off because there is so much involved. I mean, even just the finding actors was, a little, like I said, that was one of the little projects that I set aside just to find an actor or actors, and then get them onboarded, and then direct them and have the dialogue written, which I had a partner with, fortunately, to execute that. But yeah, it's been a journey for sure, and and there were moments of, how on earth am I going to do this? But yeah, just, kind of breaking it up and just believing in what you're doing. And, there were even moments where I'm like, is this even going to come together? Is this even going to look good or feel good? Or is there going to be any depth? Are people going to like it? But if you just continue on and believe in yourself and believe in the project and every single time I've done it, by the end of it, or at least close to the end of it, I'm like, wow, this is really coming together, and I'm very excited about it, and I can't wait for people to see it. And fortunately, all that hard work in the last 6.5 years is starting to pay off. The studios are taking notice of me, and the major network is they're not just interested in Birdie, they're interested in all of my projects. So there's the very good chance of a sort of a first look deal where they have the opportunity to take all of my projects and create them within their studio. So it's a very exciting time.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for everyone listening in this room, clearly you're someone to watch as well. You have, projects in the pipeline. And I'm imagining that for you, this is also like, this is still an experiment, right? How does this roll out in the NFT space? What work? How do you build a community? And what does that look like for other projects, and how might that evolve and change? I'll just welcome to the stage Paul and Isaac. If you have questions for Paul or Veronica, please chime in. Speak. Let's get the conversation going.
Hi, my name's Isaac. I'm pretty new to the NFT space, but I've been looking at a lot of Lazy Droid's Linktree and the IPs that you guys have in the pipeline and stuff like that. So I was just curious. I know that the NFT project that you guys are currently working on is primarily around Birdie, but are you guys going to incorporate any of the other IPs that you have in the pipeline that are coming in the future into the NFT space as well? I was just curious because some of this stuff looks crazy, Paul. Like seriously, like the Blood Lotus, I haven't felt something like that since I was a kid. Like watching that, I wanted to watch like 5 seasons of it as soon as I saw it. So I appreciate you guys letting me speak.
Yeah, and thank you. Yeah, Blood Lotus was my first IP, and very excited to get that one off the ground. Yes, we do have plans to sort of incorporate. I mean, NFT is here to stay. The NFT community, that is, and we want to be involved and get involved in that in every aspect of the future for Lazy Droid and the projects that are to come. So yes, we will be diving in and staying within that community as we move forward with other projects, and I'm very excited about that.
So watch this space, basically, is what do you need to do, Isaac? Thank you so much for your question. Paul, did you have a question for Paul or Veronica?
Yeah, I guess it could be for them. So, I just wanted to know a little bit more about how how somebody could really take advantage of NFT within cinematography. I have a friend very close, one of my good friends. He's actually a director as well in California, and he has a lot of projects that he's working on that he pretty much goes from theater to theater doing releases, small releases. So this is very interesting to me. I came across Birdie's project through Sean, who I've met about a few weeks ago. So I'm interested in Paul's project as well. I've been looking at it a little bit here and there. I'm a little bit sick with COVID, so still have foggy brain. So I thought I'd still throw that question in there and see how I guess cinematographers, directors can take advantage of this and get a little bit better understanding of what Paul is doing and what someone else could be doing as well.
Yeah. In terms of cinematography, it's in terms of the NFT community, it's.
Do you want to? I'll take this one for a second because I guess this is what we've been doing right for the past. I'm going to say year now. And Jordan's going to listen to the recording and be like, Sophie's got it wrong. But we've been doing this for a while, right? We've been spotlighting all these different projects and all the different ways that filmmakers, cinematographers, directors, and artists in general, right, can make the most of this space. And you look at someone like Jordan, you look at the model that she's offering for us, right? She had her drop last week. She's someone who, if you've ever seen any of her work, and if you've not, I would encourage you to go and watch it, has done some incredible stuff, and the industry hasn't fully facilitated her reaching her potential and doing the stuff that she should be doing. And the NFT space is doing that. She made an incredible motion picture inspired by a song, and it's incredibly beautiful, and it sold last week for 4 ETH, which is amazing, like amazing stuff, incredible achievement. And so that's just one example of how someone is making their way in this space in a way that the industry wasn't enabling them to. And we see that across the different projects that we've spotlighted. So there are people who are selling pieces in advance, for instance, like Julie Pacino, selling photos in advance, which is going to go towards funding her feature. So that's one way that you could do it, right? You could sell stuff in advance in order to create funds to then go on and create a bigger project, or you can make the thing and sell the thing. There are so many different ways, but if you follow us week by week, you'll see all the different models that people are doing. The important thing to recognize is that there is real potential and future in this space for artists who've not necessarily been given platforms before in the way that they should have been. I don't know if Miguel, if you have any thoughts about this one too.
Hi, Sophie. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited to see all the projects that are coming up. Some people think that we just started, but in reality, it's just because film projects take longer than most of other art projects, because there's a lot of work to be done prior. So I've been in the space since February, and I've been working on the Calladita film drop since June or May. It's just that it takes a long time, and also because the infrastructure is not there yet. We have to do it all ourselves. In my case, because it's a fundraiser, I had to hire a developer team, build my own website, and with a Web3 integrated website is not as easy, and all that kind of thing. It takes time, right? So I think that everything that's been building is like a pressure boiling pot, and now it's like starting to really explode. So I am super optimistic and bullish about the next few months, because I think it's all about proving that the model is possible, and that many different models are possible and can be successful. And Julie Pacino did that very well for all of us a few weeks ago with her project. And hopefully, if Calladita goes well as well, that will be a further proof that this model of fundraising can work even for a super indie Spanish film like mine. And so and then we see other models, and animation as well, and short films that sell as a one of one like Jordan's. And I'm just excited by all the different possibilities that are open, because in a way it's just having the same things are happening to film now that have been happening for a year with all of the other arts, right? Seeing hundreds of, or like many different artists from all around the world finally feeling seen and feeling heard and feeling inspired and finding their audiences and being greenlit to create the beautiful work that they do. And that's great, because as audiences and art lovers, we get to experience those, that work and those communities, and that's the brilliant part of it. In like, if I can just share a quick story about that. For the Calladita project, we have a parallel collection that is called the Calladita Art Collection, where we've invited artists to watch the short film and present or submit or create works in their own style, and then we will sell those as well, and split the proceeds between the film and the artist. And anyways, yesterday I got an email from an artist that I never met, I never had any contact with, and he sent me a piece, and it's incredible, it's insane. Like, I can't wait to share it with you, because it's unlike anything I've ever seen before, and I think you will all have the same feeling, because you've never seen anything like this. It's I mean, I don't know if things like this exist anywhere else, but to me, it was like discovering a new art form. It's difficult to describe. It has like some kind of immersive experience. It's like a video that is a continuous zoom in or tracking into a world of continuously. It's like down a rabbit hole, and all of the shapes become more and more weird and abstract and crazy as you go in. And I don't know. I can't really explain it. I want to share with you at some point, but it's just a story about how talent from all the corners of the world suddenly becomes empowered and made possible by Web3, and that's so beautiful to me.
Yeah, there were so many things that you just said that really sum up what Web3 is about, right? Those connections that you're talking about, that we're not limited by where we live, we can make connections with people around the world, and you can inspire someone and then they can inspire you. And there's this kind of like empowering spiral of momentum and inspiration, which is incredibly exciting. So Paul, I don't know if that answers your question fully. I suppose the real answer is that we're still experimenting with all the different ways that we can maximize the NFT space for film, but both practically and sort of artistically, there is so much potential here, right? There is potential for fans and collectors and artists to have these much more intimate relationships, and really, I guess experience the art in a new way. Does that sort of answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
I just
sorry, Paul, that I went into a rant and I didn't really answer the specific question. Sorry about that.
I just wanted to piggyback a little bit for Paul's question. It's, and just anybody in the space is because, a lot of times you were artists first, and really understanding that when we're going to be utilizing NFTs, it's really you're really building a business, right? So having a business mindset in mind, so you really understand how to leverage the community in the way that's going to be beneficial for not only for them but for you as well, and to have like a clear roadmap of your intentions of getting the budget or the like the fundraising or the fans or whatever it is that your intentions are here, like understanding that this is a business and like creating a business plan so you know exactly where you're going to go. And if that's not something that you're great at, it's good to have like a general sense of business so you have like a general understanding of it, but then finding other people who are business savvy to be able to then build a team. Because I think as much as great as it is to like be a one hat person, there is something to say when you are in your zone of genius, especially when you are a creative, to be able to focus on that and then have other people that you trust to then handle the things that you're probably not so great at.
Yeah, for sure. I think what Veronica is saying is that we all need more people like her to help us out, right? And I think it is, yeah, you have to have that kind of um, business mindset. And actually, that takes me on to one of the questions that I had for Veronica and Paul, how you went about sort of putting together that roadmap and how you made those choices. Because I'm looking at your kind of your Genesis drop and the kind of utility that you have attached to the different NFTs. And I'm just wondering, what was the process of deciding, giving away like an exact producer credit and things like that? How did you go about sort of coming up with those ideas? Why did you choose that? We've seen other people give even more I guess creative utility where people have maybe been able to have an input into the show. So there's just like a bunch of different choices that you could make here. So I'm just wondering, what was the thought process behind yours?
Well, originally it's been a lot of it's always like the initial thing is intuition, and what if an idea keeps coming back and it just seems louder, like really answering that call and kind of like leading with that has been like how I've been managing this whole strategy on the NFT side. So in the beginning, when we like just started, we got into the space mid-September, and I met Jordy in like the first week of October. So like for those first 2 weeks, which was like 2 months in the NFT space, there was a lot of like figuring out of like exactly how to enter the space and a lot of learning. And so it was very community based, and we didn't have a community. Like all of Paul's work you see in the major blockbusters, but you don't actually know that he's done them because he's just one of many artists on those films. So and he doesn't produce any art like that goes into galleries or anything. So there hasn't been like this track record of like a community that like knows it's Paul's art. So coming from that point, it was just like, well, we don't have a community yet. If we were going to enter, then maybe we should just sell the trailer. Our initial plan before this the streaming service deal came in, it was to sell the concept trailer as a one of one still, but then invite the networks to come and bid on the trailer to then sell the show that way. And and then it was like, well, then the deal happened, so we kind of had to like go back and forth about it. But then I was originally talking to an advisor from Singapore. He was the first person I talked to in the space. It was like I was networking on LinkedIn because that's what I was doing for my previous job, and which is where I met Jordy. And the day that I went seeking out NFT advice, like I got on the phone with this guy like that night, and he was great because he was a contrarian thinker and really like would poke holes in what I was like off like with my pitch. And so it was great because I was learning so much about like the space, and also how to just even talk about this, because I never really talked about. I was like using language that I had no idea. I was like saying things that I had no idea what I was talking about, because it was all like I had literally just started researching that day. So I learned a lot. But then once I talked to Jordy has been, he's been working in the studying projects in the community for like the past year, and so he has taken notes on all the things that work, all the things that don't work. And so when we would talk about these things, it's like, okay, if we have a concept trailer and it's going to be for potential, like a potential whale, then what about all the other eyeballs there? Well, I was like, well, why don't we do a 3-tier drop like T-Pain? Because anyone else that goes to the auction, they can see, they can bid if they'd like, but there's also other things that they can get in order for them to start being a part of the community. And so then we're always thinking like win-win situations. And so if people are going to be part of the Genesis drop, they have the funds to participate, how can we uh, give them value in a way that is going to reward them, because they're essentially like the first believers of what we're doing. So we're like, well, let's just give them NFTs to the collectible, like give them one, and then also like mint, a mint to pre-sale, or pre-sale to mint or whatever. And then the, like for instance, like the executive producer credit for the trailer, that our intention with that sale for the proceeds is to buy metaverse land and create a Disneyland of Lazy Droid Studio, so we can house all of our IPs in the metaverse, where we can have like roundtable discussions, like you get to meet the artists, we could, all those things that come on the DVDs of like this bonus features, like have all those things in the metaverse, with games, with like entertainment, stores that you can buy wearables for, our merch and things like that. Like there's just a lot that we want to do. So having an executive producer credit for them makes sense, because they're essentially going to be building the studio with the funding from the trailer. So it's really just been like a ping pong between Jordy and I to like really figure out like what is it that the community wants? How can we create a win-win situation where like everybody feels good about their purchases, about their contribution, and about like being a part of the community. Like another thing is that for the collectibles, we're limiting it to three Cthulhu's per wallet, because we really want to foster a community of holders, because we're playing the long-term game, right? Like we're going to be, for many people, probably the first NFT, because we're going to be on a major network, and this might be their introduction to NFTs. So having a community that is solid and like actual fans of the project is important to us. But we also know that people like to flip, so we want to be able to give them the three, the sweet spot of three, to sell one at mint, sell one when prices peak, and then hold one, or whatever the strategy is. So that's just always like win-win situations is always top of mind whenever we're making decisions.
Yeah, no, I saw that on your site, like the win-win partnership, and that makes so much sense. It's such a good attitude to have, because it's really, again, it's about like collectors being partnered with artists, right? As opposed to like the power dynamic of the old world and networks and artists. And as you say, like Paul's work being in, I don't even know how, like some incredible films, I'm sure, and us not knowing, and him not getting the credit for that. And as Jason, who's just joined us up on the stage, would say, it's not about being first in the NFT space, right? It's about being here for the long game, for the long haul. And your plan is so thorough and specific, and it's super helpful actually to hear you explain it. The executive producer credit is essentially like on the studio. I hadn't thought about that as like the actual studio, like in the metaverse. And artist roundtables and things like that. Again, it's just sort of living up to what this NFT space and Web3 is about, is fostering that closer connection and giving direct contact. And as you said, the kind of DVD extras style, I guess, insight that gives us into a project, into the artists. Jason. Hello. I don't know if you're around. Jason is often listening at work.
Good morning. How are you guys? I was actually on a video call meeting, so I kind of missed a bunch of the stuff in the beginning. But this project sounds extremely interesting to me. It's very similar, I think, to what I'm cooking up as well. But to speak to what you were saying, Sophie, like it really is about the long haul, and these things take time to build. It takes time to build the community and build an audience, and so if things don't if we don't shoot like a rocket out of the starting gate, just gotta remember that these things take time, and this is the space to experiment in. This is the space to not be afraid to take a risk or make a mistake or recalibrate the project if it ends up going in a slightly different direction that you might not have expected. So like I'm very excited to hear people experimenting with different ideas and different ways to implement their projects, because it just adds a level of uniqueness to everybody's project. It's not just about the filmed entertainment itself, but this universe that we build around it that we were never able to do before. And now that we can do it, it just adds a whole new dimension, to the content itself, the IP itself that we're building. So yeah, don't worry about being the first to do anything. Worry about being the best at what you do, and coming strong with that, because then I think the audience will follow.
Yep, for sure. But basically what he said. So just to reset for a second, welcome to anyone who's joined us. This is the NFT Filmmaker Squad. We meet every Wednesday and we talk about film and NFT. And often we have a wonderful project to spotlight. We have the trailblazers, the innovators, the people who are pioneering in the NFT world with film, and who are helping build this kind of momentum that we're seeing now. If you would like to join our Discord community, which is growing all the time, there is a link to join in my link tree or Jordan's link tree. We'd love to see you there. There's some amazing conversations happening there. But also, if you want to join in this conversation, if you want to come up on stage, ask any questions to Paul and Veronica about their project or about their journey in the NFT space, do come up. Don't be shy. This is a generous, supportive space. Any questions, do just request to come up and speak on stage. But just to dive back into Lazy Droid Studio, if you can just give us a quick 1 or 2 line log line of your projects again, just for anyone who's joined us after our kind of early discussion, just to let people know about your work.
Paul, you want to share the logline?
Yeah, for sure.
Paul, do you want to do it, or are you there? Hold on.
Okay, the artist is out of the building. Veronica, it might be back to you.
Oh God. Okay, hold on. I'm not prepared for the logline. So it is a story of a troubled 23-year-old vigilante who rights the wrongs of society and is on the hunt to make it right. But in the meantime, as she's righting the wrongs of society, she starts finding herself like being a part of the problem and not necessarily the solution. So we are following the journey of her of self-discovery and to really figure out the troubles of her past.
I think that was a great logline. I feel like perfect. That gives us a perfect insight. So if anyone wants to go and check out the pin tweet or the website, which sort of lays out a little bit more about the project and the roadmap, please do. It's incredible art, incredible concept. And I think, I don't know, it's interesting to me, this idea of kind of vigilante and against the world. I don't know, Veronica, if there was any kind of crossover with this kind of not tension that we're experiencing, but like this sort of transition from like old structure into like NFT space, where sometimes it feels a bit like we're not the vigilantes, but we're like the rebels of the art world. I don't know if that was kind of in the thought process at all.
Well, I mean, like how Paul had said, like he's been working on this for the past 3 years. But when we started with Birdie, Birdie's story is so timely. Like it's time for more representation with women leads, and especially women of color. Like Birdie's half Black and half Mexican. I'm 100% Mexican. So like just being a part of this, like I'm so excited to be able to, and I identify with her with her thought process so much. Like Birdie is a type of person who has a lot of like rage, and I, as a teenager, I remember having a lot of rage and feeling a lot of unfairness because like my dad died when I was a little girl, and I didn't have a lot of like structure in my life, and having that, and as a child you don't know why things happen to you, but as an adult it's your responsibility to fix the things that didn't work for you, because it's like as an adult you just take responsibility for your life, but you're not responsible for other people's stuff. So just Birdie's personality of like just being this like badass strong woman, and um is like just something that I'm just so excited to be a part of, because I think that a lot of us, and especially in the space, like if you hear conversations happening about like having, supporting women, and just like, women having a seat at the table, like this is kind of our way of doing so, not in necessarily in like a like in an echo chamber women empowerment way, but more about like, hey, we're going to do this with like, yeah, there might be like masculine tones, but like women can still show up in these masculine like areas of life. And so that's what I'm really excited about, because I feel like it's really going to push a lot of the conversation forward.
Yeah, I think that's so interesting. That isn't something that we've like covered yet today, but it's something that we often talk about. Is kind of again, I suppose Jordan is the example that jumps to mind, just because she's she's the NFT filmmaker like spearhead here. But just when I hear more and more about her journey, and I guess not being platformed in an industry where theoretically you feel like it should be about merit and talent, and unfortunately it isn't always. And so we often circle back to conversations about representation and feeling like, I guess, we see ourselves and we see, I don't know, we see our stories as well on these bigger platforms. And so it is exciting to see a character who represent so many people, but who also we can kind of identify with that mindset. Like I totally hear you when you talk about that kind of unfairness and rage. And I think particularly seeing that in a female character is kind of interesting. But as you say, not putting that into an echo chamber, but putting that on a mainstream platform is so important. And actually, I don't think we even realize fully the kind of impact that can have. I'm just welcoming up to the stage Secrets, maybe. If you have a question for Veronica or Paul, we'd love to hear your question.
Hey, how are we doing? I just came up to say hi to Veronica and Paul, good friends of theirs, and I just wanted to hype up their projects. I'm really excited for it coming up here.
Hey, Secrets. Nice to see you.
Hey,
And Bayne,
hey.
so Secrets has a close a special place in my heart, because he was the first person that let me on stage when I was like really shaky voice, scared to like do spaces. Like I was even scared to listen, because I was like, what if they accidentally call on me? Like I didn't even know how it worked. And one day I was like on my to-do list, like, okay, I need to start doing spaces and start telling people about this. And he was the first person that I talked to. So always have a special place in my heart, Secrets.
I
Yeah, it
love
wasn't
that.
even day. I think it was like 2 a.m. or something here. But I mean, for West Coasters, it was. Hey, sorry, Sophie.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I love that. I love that there is this special connection of the first person who like enabled that confidence and space on stage. It's really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very special.
Sorry, did you want to carry on speaking, Secrets? I have a slight delay going on here.
All good. I mean, Veronica, so basically.
Penis.
Oh, no. We got a troll.
That's how we know that this is a popular project and a popular room, right? As soon as we get a troll. So congrats, everyone. That's a big moment.
It's like, excuse me, what are you saying, sir or child? It's like, past your bedtime. Let's go. So I was gonna say is Veronica. So we've ran that giveaway, and I could pin that up because we just announced in my other space, because that the person that won was on your dev team. They decided to give it back because they were already on the list. I could pin something up and we could retweet that, and people have a chance to win, and I could run it till the end of the day, and then they announce the winners, if that's cool with you, Veronica.
That's an awesome idea, Secrets.
Awesome. I'll pin that up, and then everyone can retweet and follow all the other rules, and then I'll enter it in the Twitter picker later.
Yeah, wicked. Go ahead and pin that up. And I would also just in general encourage, we always say, we're not all rolling in ETH, right? So we can't all buy everything, but we all have Twitter, we can all retweet, we can all support. So let's hype up Veronica and Paul's project. Let's retweet, let's share it, let's get the buzz going, because the drop is in March, right? That's not that far away. Is it March?
The Genesis drop is in March, and then the collectibles drop is in April.
Amazing. Okay, so this is something to let's be there. That's part of what building community is about here right now, right? Retweeting, sharing our micro and macro actions, or if you do have ETH, by all means go and bid on the concept trailer, right, in March, or save up for the next month and see how that goes. Jason, did you have a question? Sorry, I thought I saw your hand up for a second. I'm guessing Jason is back in work. Veronica, is there anything else that you want to share with us about the project? Is there anything essential that we've kind of skated over?
Just not really. I think we covered everything, but we are going to be doing a lot of pre-sale giveaways. So if you want to be a part of that, we're going to be doing a lot of those in our Discord. I pinned the tweet up here for the link to our Discord. We're also going to be doing a murder mystery game that's going to be spread out for quite a while, because we want to make sure that we are an animation studio first that focuses on entertainment. So, and animation takes a long time to do. So we have a lot of fun ways that we're going to be engaging everybody. So if you're interested in that, be sure to join our Discord to check out those opportunities.
Yes, for sure. Join the Discord. And as you were saying before, it's all about kind of getting in right now, right? Because right now we're small, we're early. This project isn't even kind of out. We don't even know which network you're with, right? But once this goes big, we might miss our opportunity to be a part of this kind of groundswell of community. So yeah, everyone kind of follow what's going on. This feels like it's a project that is really, really going to build. So I'm super excited to see where it goes. I see that Landy, one of our NFT Film Squad regulars, has come up. How are you doing, Landy? Do you have a question?
Oh, hey, Sophie. I just, I was coming up to say hello and just, as always, love the old Filmmaker Squad rooms. I'd recommend everybody join the Discord, I think, which is in Jordan's link, and join the great gang of people joining forces on there, which is really, really good. My question actually was about, you were saying join the Discord and stuff like that. I was kind of interested in how you found that sort of task of starting up a Discord for a project, and sort of did you have to, engage any sort of Discord pros, and have you got sort of, is there a game plan to sort of build momentum and stuff? Because I do think that that's sort of such an extra pressure on a project, isn't it? It's kind of, we all know how to make something beautiful and how to speak about it, but actually part of the marketing, certainly for the bigger projects, which yours obviously all hopefully will all go well and will be a huge thing, so you would hope that the Discord would be really vibrant. So my question was just, how did you find that, and did you find that daunting?
So one of the things that I think about is win-win situations, right? And one of the biggest fails in the community right now is how much the scammed. And so it took quite a while. We had started the server last year, in November or something, but we didn't really want to invite anybody to it because we were actually going to take a stance against Discord, because it seems like a broken thing for communities. And why do we keep doing something that's broken if people keep getting scammed and keep getting hacked? But we're at a place now where there has not been a better alternative. We were kind of hoping that there was going to be something, and so we just actually launched the Discord on Friday, because it's time. Our Genesis is happening mid-March, so it is time to garner that community. And so we do have a launch strategy that the team is working on and rolling out. Our first rollout was a giveaway for the launch of the giveaway, but we will be having some goodies in store, and it's definitely not a small feat. It definitely has to be part of your launch and rollout, because it's like a full-time job, and it is where the community is at. And the community outside, the community are your potential customers, and then the Twitter is the the lead generating place, right? Where like everybody's at. But the people that have already joined, that's the people that you can't just like always just thinking about Twitter. You really need to think about Discord, because those are the people that are like truly like showing like the first interest of what you're doing. So we have a lot of fun things in store for that community, because we want to, it's win-win. Like we want to make sure that they feel valuable, that it's not just about capturing them to get into Discord, but it's really just about um, providing value and providing entertainment, and really creating real fans of what we're up to, because we're not, like how Paul was even saying earlier, like we're we're not going anywhere. We're here for the long haul, and it really is about finding the right people that want to be on this journey with us, because we know the numbers are going to come. Like this is going to be on a major network, and there's going to be millions of viewers that are going to end up falling in love with this. So it's not, we know the numbers will be there, but right now it's really about finding the right people, and that's really our interest right now.
Oh, that's really I love hearing that. What sort of things have you got planned to engage on the run up to the drop?
I can share one right now. Everything else is kind of like a little, it's gonna be like surprises. But the main thing in our Discord is hosting a murder mystery game that is gonna. So we have a person on the team who has he's conceptualized and strategized escape rooms for the past 6 years. And so he's gamifying a murder mystery that we'll be hosting in Discord. And so every time I talk to him, it's like he lives in that world. So it's always like very granular, detailed, what he's thinking about, which is really, really exciting. And that's going to be launching in a couple weeks. But that's going to be our long-term concrete strategy. And then we have some other surprises along the way that we're going to be sprinkling through.
That sounds so cool.
It really does. I'm going to definitely join in.
I mean, we talk quite a lot about kind of this gamifying, but I don't think I've seen anyone do like a kind of murder mystery thing, but actually it feels like a perfect thing to do in a way. So yeah, that sounds really, really cool. And you were mentioning your team then. I don't know, because there's quite a big team behind this, right, as well. I think, again, it's interesting. We see these projects, we see kind of the artist, but actually there's so much more support behind. So can you give us a little bit insight into like the team behind the project?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have about 13 people on board as of now. We have Jordy, who I've been talking about. He's our lead strategist on the NFT front that oversees everything about like in terms of utility and really like community engagement and gaming and tokens and all, and just really how to push the Web3 movement forward. And we also have Keith, who he has already strategized and implemented a lot of the ideas that Jordy's has. So we're using Keith's implementation and really personalizing it and just turbocharging it with our ideas to and make it right for our project and our needs. And then we have Brian, who Paul has talked about. He's the writer and right now that works with Paul on the series side, and his girlfriend Alina, who also helps conceptualize a lot of the series plot points. And so she's working with us to create content. She's making sure that we can tease but not cross any lines with the series. She's also writing blogs and reaching out to press and lining all that up so we can get some press for when the auction happens. We also have Sean, who is working on our branding and messaging and making sure that we have a cohesive voice to really attract the right people to what we're doing. And when you start having a lot of things in place, when you start building out like different departments, it's kind of easy to just get all over the place. So Sean's really like helping us have like one cohesive message. And then we have Danielle, who is an actor and screenwriter. And so she's going to be part of the murder mystery is having a Twitter account of Birdie. It's called Diary of Birdie. So Birdie's going to be solving the mystery along with them. So she's going to be Birdie in Discord and on Twitter. And then we have two developers. We have Brett and Jason, and they're just doing everything that we are thinking about, like building the website and doing the smart contracts, doing when we start our tokens, like they're going to be taking care of all those like Web3 needs. And who am I missing? Am I missing anybody? I think I got it. Oh, Ellis. Ellis is our moderator. Ellis and I used to work together at a mortgage company for a few years, and we've always had like really great chemistry. And he's still working there. We were talking like about him working full time in NFTs, and so we weren't really sure. I was just giving him advice, like maybe like being a developer, because metaverses are going to be popping up left and right, and there's going to be devs that are needed. But then when he joined Discord, and he was just like, he was the vibe. Like he was just the one that was like shaking and moving and making it like so fun. And I'm like, oh my God, I got everybody.
Sorry, I lost you for a second there. I'm hoping everyone else got the end of your sentence, but this is actually an amazing thing to see how many people are behind this project. Like it's just something again that I think maybe we don't talk about enough, like the number of people, I guess, not just to make the project itself, but to like facilitate the project, like navigating its way through the NFT world, which is just super interesting to see how that kind of happens, and the infrastructure that you've put in place for this project to succeed. Again, I think it's just like a level of commitment and thoroughness that again just tells us this feels like a project that is poised to just kind of explode to me. So I feel kind of I feel like everyone in this room should be happy to kind of be part of this kind of early moment and early insight into the project, and into the art behind it. Okay, great. I think that's probably a great place to kind of wrap up, and let everyone kind of go off and sit with that thought in their head of the kind of explosive potential and future of this project and film in the NFT space in general. I think this is like follow, retweet, share about this project, share about the drop. March is only a month away. So I'm super excited to hear about what Lazy Droid Studio are going to do in the run up. Go to the murder mystery. It sounds like their Discord is just also going to be a super fun, super entertaining place to be. So never mind about supporting NFT film, just go and have a great time, right? Likewise, join our Discord if you do want to talk about NFT film. There are so many cool conversations and collaborations and connections being made. The link to join that is in my link tree or Jordan's link tree. Unless anyone else has any other questions, I think this is a good place to pause. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing the space with us today. Thank you so much for being part of the community and building the momentum of this film squad. We appreciate you and we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you so much for having us. This was great.
Thank you.